But the result as a whole is that we see higher profits for tech companies, and we see less tax contribution, less paying back to the people. So how are we going to solve it? There is talk, or some people suggest that maybe we should create a leverage tax on of capital flowing around the world. For every capital investment you make, for example, for if you want to buy forest in Uruguay. If you want to invest 100 million in Uruguay, you need to pay 3% tax, for example. That could be an option. But if countries decide to do that, then what stops you from moving your administrative headquarters?
Just last week we discussed about this. If try to do that, but for example, African countries, we're going to give them more incentive for investment. So no way.
This is a very difficult problem to solve. So this is a how do they call it in economics? I forgot. It's called the.
Do we kind of happening like a phenomena in the history?
I think it's happening everywhere.
Current inequality in the history.
No, it's happening everywhere. This problem, basically.
No, not now. In the history.
How we resolved it?
Similar, inequality. How to solve it? I think this is not the first time in the history.
Well, you know how they did it before, but what they thought how it was resolved, basically to let the whole system come to a crashing halt, and then rebuild it from scratch. So revolution, turn the whole thing upside down.
Oh yeah.
Take the whole thing upside down, and
like Russian Revolution.
everything was crashed and burned. Like after World War II, Germany was completely in ashes. Japan was completely in ashes. A lot of other countries were completely in ashes.
Like big companies.
But what we see now is that actually a lot of families who were very wealthy before World War II are still very wealthy today in Japan as well as in Germany. So a lot of people, for example, who went to...
I think this because they revived because of I think human network, like a relationship with government and many kind of human network, the rebuilding people relationship before World War II.
Well, actually, not only that, but also a lot of people who are very wealthy, they had a lot of assets. Those assets didn't so much disappear. Yeah. It didn't so much disappear during World War II. So if you have a lot of gold and other assets...
So we don't have a kind of period, like a kind of secret... No, not secret. The kind of, how to solve a current problem?
Well, okay.
I don't so much interest in rich people's story.
Here we go. Andrew Yang. How are we going to finance UBI?
Huh? You like it?
I like it. Yeah, I like it. Like in the public space, companies invest in their people too much. But when in the public space, we treat every person as a potential cost. So we need to cut it. We need to treat our people as assets. As we're investing in, we can actually, if we are going to give them the $1,000, we see that there are so many things. The effect is not only that they will not die of poverty, but also we see that they will eat healthier, live healthier, less problems, and that will grow our economy. by an estimated 12%.
What do you mean 12%?
12%. Well, 12% GDP growth is expected because of UBI. Because more money in the hands of people who do not have money, they will spend more. That will create more demand, which will grow the economy. I would say that is probably not so far-fetched.
So huge 12% growth.
Yes. But, I mean, the costs are also going to be enormous. Like the cost to
You mean
to the
the
government.
2.4 trillion money distribute, that we can get benefit for demand.
Yeah. Of course. If you give people free money, then they're going to spend that money.
He said 12%.
Yeah, because these people are going to save. They're going to consume almost everything. You cannot save a lot of money if you get $1,000 per month. You need to spend it. So that money goes directly back into the economy.
Very risky decision.
It is a very risky decision. It's a very risky decision. But these are also, if you look at it, these are also like very, this is not very far away. What he's talking about, technological developments, for example, driverless vehicles, that's going to cost $3 million.
Instead of
in the
like
United States
Japan
per job.
increasing consumption tax, but instead distributing money for the ordinary people.
Yeah.
Just different way.
Yeah.
Increase tax or just distribute money. Which
Right.
one is they going to take?
Actually financing his presidential candidate. So we were just looking at Andrew Yang.
Uh-huh.
Andrew Yang is a presidential candidate for the Democrats in
Democrat.
2020. His
If we enter the candidate or the presidency race.
yes,
Wow.
yes, and his big idea is that he actually wants to introduce universal basic income in the United States.
Oh.
He wants to pay every adult American $1,000. That will cost the American taxpayers 2.4 trillion US dollars, which is
Trillion.
which is about 60% of the total.
Trillion US dollars. Wow.
60% of the total tax revenue. So this is very ambitious, but so he talks about how to finance that, basically by leveraging taxes on the big money makers, which are the tech companies, so AI, IoT, the big companies like Uber, Facebook, Amazon, who currently are not paying taxes, but they are the companies that are going to benefit from the tech revolution. So the tech revolution that will directly affect, for example, truck drivers in the United States with driverless vehicles. That entire economy in the US is about 3 million truck drivers, and if they manage to leverage taxes on these kinds of services, they will be able to finance a large part. One of the side effects of this whole thing is that it will grow the economy by an estimated 12%. So and it's the idea is also that it will actually enable people to do work that's really important for society, like caregiving, because people are no longer directly depending on their monthly salary. They may need to make some extra money, but it's all in all, this idea needs to be financed from where the real money is made, and by leveraging taxes on the big money makers of our near future. You know what, Uno-san? Actually, this guy, his estimated wealth is between 1 and 4 million US dollars. Which is surprising, because if that is really true, then who's financing his career? Campaign?
Yeah, I understand his opinion, but too risky. Okay, if that just it doesn't happen, they don't spend money for their money. The government will collapse, right?